Here to help us try, host of the aptly named Jeff Marek Show, co-host of 32 Thoughts podcast and the segment Saturday nights. It's my friend and yours, Jeff Marek. What's going on, Jeffy?
To me, hello, Jesse. What's up, gentlemen? Yeah, like what are these games you speak of? I thought you were just following exciting. Along where players are. What are these games things?
Yeah, they go on the ice and they skate around and they shoot this frozen horse bleep into a net. It's crazy.
Yeah, I watch games like this now. You just see the top of my head. That you see tops of heads and thumbs. That's
I heard it on your show earlier today when the Leafs made another deal because you were trying to.
I was so bad. Like, I got to say, anyone who was watching that, I feel really bad because I had that moment where, like, mainly my job is as a radio host here, and then I get this tip about Lafferty and McCabe, and I had that pause moment, like it's like, which choice am I making here? So thankfully, Matt Marchese, my producer, Matty filibuster as I try to solve this riddle and find out if it's true and find out which players are going which way here on that deal. But that was a tricky moment for your buddy there, Timmy. Which way am I going to go?
We've all been there. We've all done that, although I don't get the same kind of tips that you get. So let me ask you this. Let's pull out big picture. You've had time to digest it all. It is marinated in the oven. Who's winning this East Arms race? I know you guys in 32 Thoughts called it the East Octagon. Like, do you know who's in front here?
Flip a coin. I mean, everyone's making their moves. We're waiting for Carolina. Like, I don't think that Don Waddell is going to be silent here throughout the entire week. They're very much in. Like, they've been in. Like, it's just so we're all on the same page. Carolina is in on all the big names always, right? Like, Carolina is in on, like, when Jack Eichel's available, Carolina is interested. Like, Tom Dundon, the owner there, understands and appreciates the value of stars. And Don Waddell is always around all of it. So I don't expect Carolina to be silent all week long. I think that they are in on Timo Meier in a significant way. Of course, he goes to the New Jersey Devils. But everybody's loaded up. Like, that's the thing. Like, how do you handicap this now? Like, first of all, the opening round is going to be outstanding. Like, I think we're all looking forward to New Jersey versus the New York Rangers.
It's going to be a bloodbath, Jeff.
Totally. Yeah. I know. Like, imagine, can you imagine for 1 second, like, you're an MMA guy, can you imagine what a battle royal would be like in an octagon? Because I think that's what we're kind of looking at here in the Eastern Conference. Handicap this thing, good luck. I mean, the Boston Bruins, went from, the top team in the NHL, and then they got tougher to play against, and their blue line got even deeper and was already the envy of the NHL. The Toronto Maple Leafs, and then with their moves again today, they've gotten better. The Tampa Bay Lightning, how did they do it? I don't know, but somehow they got another miserable player to play against. Their bottom six looks like the most miserable, cranky, awful players to try to suit up against. I mean, I think we're waiting for, maybe the Florida Panthers. Are they going to do something? Can they do anything? Or did they just sort of fire it all off last season? Yeah. New Jersey's made their move. Is Pittsburgh going to do something? They've played better the last couple of games after a horrible tailspin that saw them get completely washed out by Edmonton last Thursday. Are they going to do something? Like, I still think as much as the big names are gone here right now, what always happens every year, there are one or two names, Tim, that we don't expect. And we're all stunned. I wonder if that's going to happen here. And if it's going to happen before Friday because that's the way this whole thing is trending. But handicap it or try to predict who's coming out, not this guy. Jesse can tell you, not me.
That's a pissed off dude who has to work on Friday saying, why are all these deals happening now?
That's got to be frustrating.
You know what? If everything, listen, Elliot and I, we were talking about this today at noon. If all the deals happen, Elliot and I got the easiest gig in the world. We just show up, Deb Berman puts us in our suits, and we sit there. Yeah. David Amber looking your direction, Carolyn Cameron looking your direction, Paul Biznasty looking your direction, Kevin Bieksa looking your direction. It's not up to me and Elliot. We just sit there with their thumbs. Yeah, nope, nothing happening. David, back to you. That's going to be our gig on Friday.
Let me ask you the $1 million question that everyone's asking me.
Sure.
Are the Leafs better suited to deal with the bloodbath that will be the East?
They are. They're deeper. I'll tell you one thing right now. Now with the addition of Jake McCabe, the one thing that if I'm Sheldon Keefe, I'm doing is I'm having a conversation with Mark Giordano, and I'm mapping out the rest of the schedule, and I'm saying, here's where you're going to rest, here's where you're going to rest, here's where you're going to rest, because the Maple Leafs now have the depth on their blue line that they haven't had in quite some time, and it affords them the luxury of being able to rest someone like Mark Giordano, who's going to be a significant piece of this team in that opening round against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're a better team. Like, I know everyone's losing their mind about Tampa. I get it. Like, Tampa's an elite team. I've always said it's the fool that bets against the Tampa Bay Lightning because they always find a way. And it's a murderer's row of Kucherov and Hedman and Vasilevsky and Stamkos and Cirelli and Braden Point and holy smokes, I'm just adding up here, all these elite level players. But let's not forget too, like winning and being successful, like there's an attrition that comes with that. There's no Ryan McDonough. There's no Andre Palat, who, very quietly was one of the most effective players. I always referred to Palat as mini Hossa. Like that's the kind of effect that he had on Tampa. So where you might look at this and say, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning and they just added Tanner Jeannot and they're miserable and skilled, they've taken a little bit of a step back too, whereas I don't see the same level of attrition for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But we'll see.
I know you just talked to Tom Fitzgerald earlier today, the GM of the New Jersey Devils. For those who don't know, Jeff knows because he just talked to him. But he had a quote, and I read it and I wrote it down, and he just said, playoff hockey is a different animal. So the war of attrition, the little battles, the net front, the corners, the dirty areas, that's real. Refs put their whistles away, elbows are a little higher, a little sharper. So just being able to sustain that as a player, bringing somebody in with experience is just something we really wanted to add and help educate our group. Like, given what we're just talking about with the Toronto Maple Leafs, is that as interesting to you as it is to me?
It really is. And I'll tell you what that winks at is that Tom Fitzgerald understands that up front, this team is certainly highly skilled. Like, we know that with, Hughes and
fun
Pratt
as hell to
and
watch.
Easter, all this is, but they still don't have size and they still don't have a bite in their top six. Like, I know we looked at Timo Meier when he became available and said, well, off the team Switzerland, right? Nico Hischier is there, and Jonas Siegenthaler, and here comes Meier, and it's Team Switzerland. But the thing about Meier is he's like this new age power forward, big, strong, flush pucks out along the boards, goes to the net really hard. Like, that's an element that New Jersey doesn't have. And how many times, listen, we've seen it plenty of times with the Toronto Maple Leafs. You rifle through the regular season like a hog into truffles, surfing on skill, and then you're right. Then everything closes. Gap closes, elbows up a little bit more, slashes, the whistles go away a little bit. Everything just becomes that much more intense. It's hockey, but more so, is always the way that I've always described it. And I don't think, this has always been Elliott's point, and normally I think Elliott is ridiculous in his takes, but I'll give him this one. It's not so much the officials that change in the postseason, it's the players.
Yeah.
It really is. I know we focus on the officials and how come they didn't call that and how come they didn't call this. The players are that much more intense every single shift. And if you don't have players that are ready for that, you can get steamrolled. And the Rangers have some playoff experience. And I think Tom Fitzgerald is looking at the Rangers and saying, that's who we're facing in the first round. And they're going to add Patrick Kane either Wednesday or Thursday. We better be ready. This is an arms race. We better get a couple of guys.
All right, let's move out of the East for a second. I'm going to give you the question that we bandied about in our meeting today, which is which Canadian team or Western Canadian team, and I know Winnipeg is in the West, but they are in the Western Conference, are you most concerned about and could make the most noise in the next little while?
I'm concerned about Calgary, and I'm glad you mentioned Winnipeg because they made the Niederreiter deal on Saturday, and that's like a really nice bit of business by Kevin Cheveldayoff. A second-round pick for Nino Niederreiter, who's not a rental. You still have term on them. Winnipeg doesn't want to do the rentals. They want guys with term. Real good power forward for them. Complements their top six, playing with Dubois and Ehlers at the practice this morning. I think that Kevin Cheveldayoff is looking at this team, even though, it's him, they've kind of hit a speed wobble here. If I'm Kevin Cheveldayoff, and I think he's probably thinking this way, I don't know how many more years, because contracts are expiring, I'm going to get a season like this out of Connor Hellebuck. I'm going to get another season like Mark Scheifele or Blake Wheeler or these types of players. Cole Perfetti's injury really hurts them. I think he's looking at this and saying, right now it's jump ball in the West. I know Colorado scares teams. And if you watch Colorado on Saturday, there's good reason why Colorado should scare teams. But I think he's looking at his squad and saying, I owe it to them to take a real big swing here. I still think that Kevin Cheveldayoff is looking, I think he wants to hit a home run. I think he's looking for a defenseman. I wouldn't be surprised if Winnipeg is in the Jacob Chychrun sweepstakes. I wouldn't be surprised if someone like Colton Parayko has been discussed in Winnipeg. I would imagine Luke Shen would have been discussed in Winnipeg before. Like Kevin Cheveldayoff, like he wants big defensemen. Like a couple of seasons ago at trade deadline, he was, I think, like this far away from trading and picking up Jamie Alexiak when he played in Dallas. Like he values that type of defender. Right. I think he's looking to add another blue liner and probably someone with size. I am concerned about Calgary. I really am concerned about Calgary. Calgary is that team that, you know, I've gone through this season kind of saying it wasn't supposed to be like this.
Right.
You know, we understand Gaudreau goes, Tkachuk goes, and all that. But you know, they bring in Jonathan Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar and Nazem Kadri. I think honestly, Tim, Calgary's stunned. Like Calgary is shocked at how this season has gone. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I know a lot of the woes. We can kind of talk about Jacob Markstrom, but I don't just think it's him. I wonder about Calgary, and one other thing I wonder about them. I wonder how many teams are trying to steal a player right now, looking at Calgary as bewildered as they might be, and are trying to push Brad Treliving into doing something that he never thought he would do come trade deadline this season. That's what I wonder about.
From Eric Francis's column on Sportsnet.ca right now, if we can help ourselves, of course I'd like to do that, says Treliving, but reality is also part of the equation. Like that is.
What does that sound like to you?
Yeah, it sounds like I don't want to be a fan of the Calgary Flames because it doesn't feel real good right now. Listen, it always feels good catching up with you. I wish we could have had more time and got into the rest of the stuff because there is a ton more. The Edmonton Oilers part of that equation. But Jeff, appreciate your insight on a day going like this, and maybe we'll have to call you back before the end of the show.
No problem. I'm around, Timmy. You be good.
Thank you. You too, Jeff.